Gemstones are some of the coolest effects that you can add to your drawing and coloring. I'm Lisa Mitrokin from It's Easy to Draw Art Academy, and I teach an entire course on how to color gemstones where I cover opals, amber, pearls, every imaginable type of a gemstone that is cut, and a cabochon. We do emeralds, rubies, garnets, peridot, sapphires, amethysts, citrines, and of course, diamonds. Diamonds are the most difficult to color, but by the end of the course, all of my students produce amazing, realistic diamond results. This is just a fragment from that course, so I hope you enjoy it. I hope you try out this technique. And if you find this content interesting and educational, consider taking the whole course. Heart white diamond. So we're moving to a different shape, and we're moving to the next level of difficulty of our line drawing. So here we have a line drawing that has a little bit of a suggestion of where the light and shadow will be. It's not really light and shadow here. I keep saying light and shadow because that's what I'm used to, but it's actually, the lighter areas and the darker areas. So again, my number one step, and these are identical, you guys. I'm not changing the cuts. So the heart cut is the same in all three versions. The pear cut is the same in all three versions, and the round cut is the same in all three versions. So there are no surprises. Your shapes are identical. Just like with the full grayscale version, I'm starting with a very basic outline of just that front facet, the big front facet and its little friends on the side. And then I'm going for that burst of reflectiveness from the center. And again, what is it that we're seeing? Hopefully understanding the shape of the diamond, understanding the cuts of the diamonds, you see that it's not just a burst of light coming from the center, it's actually that taper of the stone. All the facets are coming into a single point. They're getting narrow and narrow and narrow as they get to that base of the stone. So when you look at the stone from the top in, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing inside the stone, and you're seeing that actual taper point, and everything just kind of moves out from there. And you see it all through the stone. Diamonds are incredibly clear. Notice here how much variation I'm adding on the periphery. Yes, everything is more or less in that fanning out shape, but you have a lot more refraction happening in the periphery just because of the nature of the cut, just because of all the angles that are involved there. So just get in the habit of freehanding. Look at, play this back. You have these recordings forever. Play them back and watch my hands, watch my decisions, and watch the things that are constant. What is constant is that all of my lines are coming out of the center, and I'm going to keep drilling this into you for the rest of this class, that everything comes out of the center for diamonds. So obviously we want to keep our edges clean. So sometimes you have to go up against a certain border just to make sure that everything stays contained within your line drawing. But within the line drawing, you want everything coming out of the center. Up and down, not sideways. Center to out, not sideways, not even up and down. Center to out in this starburst kind of a way. And of course with your Q-tip. Now a lot of the lines will disappear or become very faint after you do the Q-tip treatment, but you'll still be able to see a little bit through it, as you can see on the screen. So again, center to out. Yes, center to out, exactly. Again, all the same colors, all the same pigments in the same progression. So number one was my white charcoal. Now number two is my gray teal. Diamonds are by far the most difficult to draw and to color because of all of that light play inside. So with this color, what am I doing? I'm essentially filling in the gray areas from the first one. Is there a reason not to go black and make the white facets or sections even whiter, brighter, or deepen the contrast with the black, dark blue? Let me see if I understand that. Is there a reason to not go back and make the white facets or sections even whiter, brighter to deepen the contrast with? We did that on the first one. We went back and made them whiter with our gel pen. We will do it again here. Absolutely. You want white to be pure white. and you want black to be pure black, but you want a lot more white. The difference is we don't actually have white facets anymore. We only have these white rays coming out of the center. So no, you don't want pure white facets, but the areas that are pure white, you absolutely want to go over them again with a white pencil or a white gel pen, or ideally both. In fact, that's what we will do on this one as well. You want as much contrast as possible, as pure white as possible, for them to be shiny. You may also add glitter and glimmer effects to them. We learned glitter and glimmer effects in the last class. Again, I would leave them to the very end, just like we did with the redstone. I honestly don't really like glitter effects, so I didn't add them on any of my diamonds. Same exact step as in the round diamond. I'm going over the darkest parts with my really deep dark ultramarine blue. And how am I adding it? I'm freehanding it in these fanned out versions. The trick here with reference is that there's so much information and it's so random, so seemingly random with all of the little details, that you can't possibly copy every single little detail in a diamond, which is why it's so essential that you understand the concept above all. Once you understand the concept, once you understand the overall distribution of how much white you need, of how much blue you need, of how much black you need, of how much glitter you need, some of you like glitter, then you'll be able to color any type of diamond in any shape and in any color. My diamond that I colored, this is the one that I'm working on right now. If you compare it with the grayscale version of it, it's actually not a perfect match of where the black areas are and where the white areas are, but it's close enough to get the story across, and that's more important. Do not neglect your blender pencils. For me, the blender pencils do all the work here. If you can't find a pale enough blue, this is very important. If you can't find a blue that's as pale as mine, this is one of my Prismacolor blues that I use all the time. I think it's called Cloud Blue. I always call it ice blue, but I think the actual name for it is cloud blue. And it's so pale, it's practically white. If you can't find a blender pencil, that blender pencil makes it a diamond. Exactly that. The blender pencil creates just enough distortion in there that it actually looks like a shiny surface. Lots of shiny surfaces within a shiny surfaces. But before I lose my train of thought, if you can't find a really pale blue, just go with white, because you already have that blue undertone there. You probably already used a grayish teal. You probably already used that ultramarine blue or whatever dark blue you chose. If you bring in that pale, that pure white as your blender, it will still create that same very, very pale blue blending effect. So this is just a fragment, a tiny fragment of what I teach in my course on gemstones, and it's easy to draw. The course is packed with lessons like this, and each one comes with its own practice pages, reference guides, and all of the technical knowledge that I can offer, not just as an artist, but also as a jewelry and diamond appraiser. I studied diamonds and gemstones for years, and when I teach my students how to color them, I also teach them why certain effects work, which has proven to be very helpful for every student who has taken and completed this course. So now when I bring in my white highlights, they appear to be laid on top of that grayed background, and that's what gives us the glisten look. But again, you have to continue that rayed out look that's occasionally broken up by those lines that divide the facet. So I like to highlight the lines, but not entirely. What's going to be a striking difference for most of you on white diamonds is just how white they are. So far you've been doing very, very colorful stones. We did white only on opals, but most of the opals that we did were also very colorful. They had a lot of iridescence effects in them. The only cut gemstones that you guys have done were very highly saturated in different colors. You had red, you had orange, you had green, you had purple, you had blue. So the stones themselves were very, very strong in color. We're starting with white diamonds, and they're called white diamonds, but they're not really white, not milky white, not like opal was. They are in fact transparent, but they appear quite white to us because of all the reflection of the light, the reflections within reflections, and that's where the color white comes from. Technically, they're not even white, they're just transparent. You still doing the half moon? Yes, I'm still going to add the half moons, the girdle, a little bit on the top left, and on the bottom right I added a little bit of an outline with my nail polish thingy. So just a little bit. And some of you may like to kill the black outlines altogether. You may feel free to do so. There are multiple ways that you can do it. You can go over the outer outline with a white Prismacolor pencil. That will tone it down quite significantly. You can outline the whole thing with your white jelly thing if you can keep it thin enough. Or the other way of getting rid of outlines is to color the background all the way up to the outlines with something dark so that you can't see the outline anymore. It just blends with the background. So there are lots of ways to make it even more hyper realistic, but this is pretty darn good so far. Yes, you can see a little bit of an outline, but it's a drawing, so I think it's okay. Same steps. After the white gel pen, I'm coming in with my fine liner. And just going over all the black to make sure that the black is also really, really black. But notice the distribution. Notice how much white I have in comparison to the black. So here they are, all three of them together. Notice that they all look the same. Obviously, they're different shapes. We have a round and a heart and a pear, and that was the idea. I wanted to demonstrate how three shapes work with a white diamond. But the distribution of white and gray and black and all of the blues is the same in all three of them. All three of them look like they could have originally been a full grayscale version. They could have all originally been a line drawing with a little bit of highlights. They could have all been just schematics. It doesn't matter how much information you're given. You should be able to complete your coloring and make them all look like that. So let's look at the pencils that I actually used. Again, this is my gray teal, which I think is called, I already forgot, I had a name for it. My gray teal, my ultramarine blue, my blender pencil, my white, of course, and my black. And that's it for pencils. And for highlights, we have the gel pen, or whatever you're using for a gel, and a black fine liner. Slate gray, thank you. Yes, it was called slate gray. And the one thing that I didn't actually pull up on that screen was white charcoal. We started with white charcoal, and then we brought in all of those colors, and then the white gel and the black gel. Don't be scared, Margie. You're gonna do great. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and follow the Academy link. I do hope you'll take the full course. If not, swing by and see what other courses strike your fancy. Do check out the community in It's Easy to Draw, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.